Hello, hello. It's Yolanda here from Empowered Parenting. Welcome, welcome, everyone. Today is Thursday, and today is our live Q&A. I am having a look at Instagram. We're broadcasting live on Empowered Parenting Coach on Instagram too. So thank you to all of you joining us today. We love coming on here. We love answering your questions. Today's topic is on boundaries, on setting boundaries with your kids. Today's topic is about setting boundaries with your teens. So a lot of parents can have different experiences. You might have found that while your child was younger, you had no issues at all setting boundaries with them. And as they're getting older, it seems to be getting even more challenging. So tell me in the chat box, is this an issue? Do you find that setting boundaries with your child is challenging? Do you find like you have that you do struggle with this part? Do you find that your child does not listen? What is your struggle with your child? Share with me, guys. It helps me support you while I am with on a call with you. It supports me to see what your specific need is. So I've got it set up. I can see your comments coming in. I can see many of you on live with me. Tell me where you're from. Tell me how old are your kids. Tell me from a scale of 0 to 10, how difficult is it and how challenging is it for you to set a boundary with your child? 10 being really difficult, 0 being easy, 1 being easy. Where are you at? How do you feel? How confident do you feel in setting boundaries with your child? What does it mean for you to be setting boundaries with your child? Does it mean that you set rules and they follow through? Does it mean consistent behavior that you are seeking for your child? Does it mean that when you have set structure in place, maybe that with them supporting you around the house, possibly with their schoolwork, probably with dinner time, probably with showing up, showing responsibility around the house, how is that showing up for you? From a scale of 0 to 10, how tough is it for you to set boundaries? I've got being here saying she's at a 6. So anything greater than a 5 is something that I would be looking at putting new steps in place, because if we continue doing what we do and what we've done, we will get the same results. So in order to have new results, we need to try out new things. So beautiful. I'm going to jump into it. And before that, I'm going to share with you a little bit about me. So my name is Yolanda Alvarez. I'm an empowered parenting coach. What is empowered parenting? It is about the parent claiming back control of how they show up in their relationship with their child. It's about parents learning tools and taking back control of their own self and in the way they react to their child, because the only control we ever have is on within ourselves. So it's about giving parents the tools to get to know where they are at. It gives parents the tools to understand where and how and what is showing up for them when they react or overreact to their child, which is a key area why we're not able to establish strong boundaries, is because guess who comes in the way? We do. We are the ones that come in the way of setting boundaries. So being consistent ourselves is key. So tell me, with consistency, I know this is really it's really hard to admit it, parents, but when you find your child isn't consistent with the boundaries, or isn't keeping with the boundaries that you set, or if you find they are pushing back on the boundaries, I'm going to ask you a very courageous question. How consistent have you been? Have you pulled through? Where are you at? Because our kids are reflecting back. The reason why they don't comply with the boundaries you set is because they have seen you wavering yourself in those boundaries. So tell me if this is not true for you, and we will look at another approach. However, with the range of parents that I've worked with and with my own story, I can tell you that number one key is how consistent are you? We often need to come back and check in with how consistent have we been with our boundaries, and how how good are we at keeping with boundaries ourselves? Because let's allow ourselves, let's, in these few moments that you will spend with me on this live, let's just be courageous and let's check in with our own self. What can we be doing differently, and how can we show up differently? What is it that we are modeling? I know these are very tough questions and it's very humbling to admit, but are we being consistent? Are we good at keeping to boundaries ourselves? What are we? What is our child seeing in us? So that's step number one. Step number two is, when we do create boundaries, have we negotiated those boundaries with our kids? When you set them, did they have a say, or was it enforced? Do you want your child to grow up with things enforced on them without having their say? Even if it's something that you're really strict about, still bring it to them. Share with them where you are at, what has brought this need for this boundary up, and negotiate it with them, and communicate with them in a positive tone. That takes me into my next point: communicating positively. What do I mean by communicating positively? For example, telling your child, don't play with the ball when you are inside the living room. The TV will crash. You'll break things around. Instead of saying what we don't want them to do, positive communication says, tell them what you would like them to do. So many of us are so stuck in our ways, we don't recognize that what we are focused on is what we do. So for example, you would have heard the thing about don't think of the or don't look at anything red in the room, for example. Where does your focus go? It goes to things that are red. Or if you say to a child, don't run in the passageways, what is the image in the child's mind? Them running in the passageways. Don't, you might tell a teenager, don't leave your dishes on the counter, put them in the sink. Tell them what your expectation is. So positive, without emphasizing on the negative behavior that you don't want to attract. So in order to set new boundaries, we need to communicate effectively. We need to negotiate our communication with them, what the boundaries are, why they are there, get their buy-in, ask questions, become curious. What is their alternative approach? You never know. You might hear something that you wouldn't have realized yourself when you were setting a boundary. You might say to them, you need to come back from your party by 12 p.m. And you're just doing it because that's how you were taught at your age. Maybe there's a reason why it's not conducive for them. So listen out, keep an open mind as you negotiate, be open, ask questions, listen to see, get their complete buy-in, get their opinion, negotiate your point along with them as they put their point in. In that way, we can we get their buy-in, which gets them to jump on board at a higher degree on what we are trying to put across to them. So negotiation, communicating positively, checking in with ourselves. How consistent are we in our actions, in enforcing or in sharing, in setting the expectation on the boundaries? Are we sometimes being lenient? Sometimes we are more assertive, and sometimes we are not. Is there consistency within ourselves? What are we modeling? Are we good at complying to boundaries and structure ourselves, or do we find ourselves constantly looking how we can bend the rules. So let's look at how we are doing that within ourselves as well. Thank you to all of you joining us on Instagram. Thank you to those on Facebook. We are so happy to have you join us. Let us know if you're getting any value from today. What is your greatest aha moment from what I've shared? I'd love to hear. Tell me in the chat, what are you hearing me say, and how is this effective for you in setting effective boundaries? The next point that in setting boundaries is to be respectful. As parents, we think that we are, or we believe that we are in charge, we are in authority, we need to be forceful, we need to be assertive. We need to be respectful because we want to get back respect for ourselves, respect for the boundaries that we have set. So being respectful is a great approach in which we can effectively set boundaries. And my last point for today is love them unconditionally. Your main job, and if I may say, your only job is to love them. If you just love them through setting boundaries, creating boundaries that come from a space of love, to keep them safe, to share your care for them. Let that be the energy, the intention from which you share the boundaries, or you come up, or you set the boundaries that you do with your child. So I do hope you found this valuable. Do put in the comment section if there's anything that you did find valuable, and also share with us, what is your current parenting challenge? What are you finding that you need support with? Put in the comment section, reach out to me, and I am happy to support you. The ways in which we support you are through our events. I will do a live for you in our groups and tag you in it so you can get support in that way. If you'd like more one-on-one, I'm happy to share with you a link, and we can chat one-on-one on how I can support you personally, listening to your personal story. I offer free 30-minute chats, and we offer a range of events. So tomorrow afternoon at 12 p.m., we have our live masterclass happening in our group, which is called Parenting from Your Higher Self. It's going to be a brilliant event. I invite you to come along. See you all. Have a lovely evening.